Hello everybody, little video here. Of course, it's always hello everybody, and that's the way it is into it. Lately, after the Saturn stuff with this retrograde energy, quite a few people kind of connecting with the same thing, same story. Dio, I feel so good, but why I don't feel my twin flame? Could you kind of like make a video about this? Some of the people I talk to, they evolve. They kind of like in the final stages of let it go, and they feel that disconnections on it. And I have to explain kind of like a one by one. 10 more people came in, and I'm like, okay, fine, I'll make the video into it. The title of the video, it's why don't feel my twin at all? What is going on? What is going on? That was a very good question. They came up later on, but the first thing first is we have a few events that going on out of the Twin Flame community. I want to make sure that those events, you guys know them, you guys understand them. They are made it for you. Whatever it's going on, whatever how the situation is, it's now you have to face your limitations. And that has to do a lot about with what we are going to talk about it, limitations. Those limitations are kind of like a find a way, they're coming from you, but they're solved when you go to an event, when you see other people, how they overcome it, how they face the challenges, how through those events people evolve, and what is going on. So there is a three events that's going to be happening the community. Some of you already know the speakers into. So the first one, it's organized with Marla. It's an Niagara Fall. It's September 27th, 28th, 29th. Into there is like a 1 week you can go ahead and register yourself into it. It's in Niagara Falls. The second event that goes into it, it's from Nagla and Donna. I did a workshop with them. It's on November 2nd. It's only a 1 day event into it. And the third event, it's the one I organize. It's on November 15, which is from November 15, 16, and 17. It's a 3 day event. You already know some of those guys. We already made a video for it. That's how that helps. Those workshops, they helping you out to be better. It's not about only, but I look at it that when we made it the very first 10 the next workshops, how the people got involved and now they become their own. I'm so proud of Marla that she does event on her own. I'm so proud of Rob and Angie. They did event on their own in Canada. I'm so happy that Nago and Donna does this event on their own. That's the way it should be. That's the part of evolution. You go ahead and you evolve, and during those big events, those things are happening, and those events are made it for you into it. So to go back into the video into it, the question. Hi Dio, I noticed recently that I have no need nor wanting to be in a physical union with my twin anymore. I don't miss him, I don't even catch myself that I don't even think about him, don't even feel him. Totally detached. Signs and synchronicity are here as usual, not paying that much attention at all, only being grateful for. I'm even detached from people around me, just moving forward with my life doing the things I want. In other words, enjoy my life, and I feel damn good. How do you explain this? Well, that's somebody else who made a comment into it. That is a Darcy out on the Facebook. Same here, since 5 months, but not really bother much in a positive way, of course. Dio Vaselinov, what if you are not much concerned about the 3D connection because you are eternally together? Oh, thank you very much. I'm here now in complete surrender and happy. Even I feel I have healed with other attachments, issues with all, and things doesn't bother me much with each and every person and situation. Please say a word, a guidance about it. If you feel something to share it, please do. Thank you. Thank you, Darcy. All right. You all know where this is going to go. This is gonna go back into drawing list. As you know, in the last few videos, I've been drawing the same thing. You know how that sounds like, oh God, yeah, it's the same thing? It is the same thing. It's always gonna be the same thing. And what I'm talking about, this is the universal principle of duality and union. Okay? You all know that. This is you, this is the TF. Since the TF broke the connections here, and broke the connection here, but the connection, later on I want to show you something, you can understand what it's all about. That connection is broken into it. People who have going on through the challenges, isn't it? The twin flame at the beginning, all this, it comes together, all this energy flows, okay? That energy spins like a hurricane and grows and grows and grows. If the truth is not accepted, it grows a little more. If the truth is not accepted, it goes more and more, and at the end everything goes to pieces. Welcome to separation. So after all this, the separation kicks in. The twins, of course, are separated. Everybody has to do their own stuff. They need to work on it. Some of them, they do the work, which is connected with their own relationship with God, universe, divine, however you want to name it, into soul source, if you want to make it, because that's what actually is going to be in our case, into. And in that case, if you are example like me, I begin to do all this work, I begin to do this part, and I begin to surrender, to let it be, whatever it's need to be, whatever it's meant to be. And that was the 5D connection, which is here. And this is the time when you feel your twin, excuse me, when you feel your twin, you have this connection that works from here, goes to the divine, and you talk with your twin. But since this connection is here, it's blocked, your twin has no freaking clue. What is this all about? And that connection is from the divine to understand where you guys standing in soul. And that's how that part of a lot of the twin flames ask me, deal, well, what's going on with the twin? You know, what's going on with this? What's going on with that? Why I feel the differences? Why I feel this situation was the way it is? What's going on? I feel one thing, but when I met it in person, it's a completely different story. This connection from them does not exist. They broke it off. During the separation, they broke that off. And they feel lost. That is their loss. That's what they feel, lost. So it is what it is. You all know that phrase, into it. But if you continue to do your inner work, you continue to do this up and down with the divine, you do your work, you help people, you guide people, you do the right things, you go within the universe, all of a sudden the universe right here is looking at you through all of this communication with the twin into it, and it's like, okay, I think that you did what you can do. It's time for you to surrender to me. mean to the divine. When you completely surrender to the divine, then what's going on is that connection, it cuts off right in here at the divine. You have the connection with the divine, but there is no more connection with the twin flame and the 5D. So basically this connection here for you does not exist anymore. You don't care about anymore, you are in peace, you solve the situation. That's what Darcy explained into it. That's what the question came out of it. It's why I feel so good. You feel so good because the pressure is not anymore here. Who's taking over, Dave? What's taking over is the divine. That soul source that it's inside of everybody, because we only have a body and a heart, but we also have our soul into it. And the soul connection, since the soul, it's also have a part with this, the soul source never cuts that connection with you. That exists. So even if the person wants to zip it off God, he can't, because the God's going to talk to you. The divine is going to talk to you. And that connection, it's disconnected for the two reasons. Number one, some of the twin flames, I would say most of it, what they do is they go to the divine and they cry about it and they complain about it and they're like, God, you're not doing everything, God, you're not this, God, you're not that. You continue not surrendering. And what it does is, well, let's see if we can solve the conflict in a soul level. Since the conflict cannot be solved on a soul level, you get into the wherever the divine is leading you. It's to surrender. And you begin to surrender. When you surrender that part here. You're not worried about it, what the relationship between God and your twin flame will be. You do not want anything anymore. Your ego dies, and that's where you feel so damn good. That's what that history will begin for you to go ahead, you to live the life in peace. That is the total surrender, because you understand you are not anymore in control. The only good relationship you will have with the divine, and that's the only thing left into it. It is what it is. Welcome to the total surrender. Welcome to the final stage of the twin flames, which is you actually give the power to the divine, and you feel the power of the divine, because there is nothing else left to be. I spoke in the previous videos about this, that when you do trust, when you surrender, when you let go, there is those stages inside of it, and those stages and inside of it, they will be evolve. They're like a spiral until you reach to the top. Once you're reaching to the top, you will feel like the universe is inside of you. You have this internal connection with the universe, and the universe fulfills that part of your twin to be there. On a very earliest video, I mentioned that at some point you have to replace that image of your twin, their picture, within the universe. That way you bring the universe energy. That universe energy has to do with the divine into it, and that replacement of that internal image, that actually helps you to solve these issues that you had. You finally let it go of everything, and this is why you feel in peace. The part of it is like from the previous video, if you haven't watched it, into it, that was about why my twin flame is lost. They're lost because of this. They don't want to go back to that divine love. They don't want to go back to what God has created as energy. What that's part is being created into it. So they think that by that way they're going to run away from God, from the love, from the destiny. But the source is source. The source gives you anything, and as long as you live, as long as you have a soul inside of it, he cannot run away from the divine. This is why the runner, they can go ahead and they can run 10,000 galaxies away from here, That connection ain't gonna go away anywhere. And a lot of the people, a lot of the twin flames and union, they know about this and they realize this. And this is why it's important. You can hear from Lee and Sherry if you come to the Chicago event about this. You can ask also Rob and Angie. They're in from Canada. You can. There is a 20 years history in there. We're talking about explaining something that has been known, it's been happening. Nobody have the balls to put it out in the public. So this is why we're doing this, so the future generations to go ahead and have this information on to it. I was very surprised back in the days when the people were texting me. They're like, "Dio, where were you 20, 30 years ago?" Well, I don't know where I was. Maybe someplace else, but not in my head, not in my soul. All has to do with the awakening of my twin flame into it. But the part is when this connection exists and the divine says enough, you cannot do anything anymore. Accept it, trust me, you let it go, you find your freedom, you find your peace out of your twin flame, and if they comes in even in a 5D, you tell them that what's the real reason they need to be, what is the whole story. And then the divine is going to talk directly to them. It doesn't matter if they're open into it, doesn't matter if they're close to it. The divine has its always way to talk to them. And if something needs to be said, something needs to be understood, you will know about it. And you're like, there's nothing I can do about it. It's between them, your TF, and the divine. And you need to allow that process to happen. A lot of the people trying to interfere through this, if you're a Star Wars fan, that is like interference in the Force. They try to forcing the same vibrations into it by doing it that. Usually that doesn't end up good, specifically if that is the females who like to use the manipulation for manifestation. That's why a lot of the information is not out there into it, because you can manipulate something that is being created, and that's why a lot of the people struggling with their understanding about a twin flame. When you go on your own mission, the part of your mission is going to be this: you to feel that peace and provide the same peace vibrations to others. You will be called to help other people get into that state of peace. And when you get that call, you will know that you have to answer it. Would you answer it or not? That is entirely up to you. But when the God's calling you, keeps calling you, you don't want this to become a roar. Because the soul begins to whisper at the beginning, then begins to remind those whispers every hour, then it begins every 10 minutes, then it begins every minute, and at the end it's like an every second, until you do not want this anymore to be closed. You want this to be open. When you open, all that pressure into the runner will go away. They're gonna reconnect to the divine. And if everything is okay on the physical level, then you're going to have a union. If it's not everything solved yet on the physical level, if you haven't accepted the differences, you feel twin flame, for example, if you, example, you are still in a marriage, if they want to reconnect, then there's going to be some again issues, which is a lot of the twin flames find that out, because when you're at that piece of stage, you probably end up having a relationship with somebody else because you fed up with the twin flame. And that is a lot of the times when most of the twin flames, they getting into a second marriage, they getting into additional problems because they have not worked on this part here to solve the differences. And if the differences are solved, then everything will be worked together. And all it takes, the naked talk. If you don't know what I'm talking about, the naked talk, I want you to go to my YouTube channel and you're gonna find the naked talk video. Just go on the search, whether you search my videos, put the Naked Talk, and then you will know what I'm talking about. Thank you so much, guys, for watching the video. Thank you so much for the information and the question. If you guys looking forward for your comments, you guys know it. Be loved.